Jungkook's name echoed throughout the social media universe. Not because of the scandal, nor because of the big controversy that usually becomes the topic of discussion in the entertainment world. This time, something much smoother, more faint, but actually feels much more shaking. A small signal, almost invisible to the layman's eye, suddenly triggered a wave of wild theories from loyal fans of BTS ARMY around the world. The question began to echo in various forums, timelines, and fan discussion rooms. What exactly is Jungkook hiding? It all starts from a moment that looks simple: a short upload, a slightly different expression, and a sentence that feels ambiguous. For some people, maybe it's just a common thing. But for ARMY, every movement of Jungkook always has a deeper meaning. Every look, every pause in his sentence, even every choice of words he uses is often considered as a puzzle piece waiting to be compiled in the last few days. The public's attention has returned to the figure known as Golden Magne from BTS. Jungkook is no stranger to the world's spotlight. Since his debut at a very young age, he has grown under the light of the camera, witnessing how his life has become public consumption. But precisely because of that, every small change in him always feels striking. The fans began to notice something different. Jungkook's expression in the last few appearances looks deeper, calmer, but also as if he is hiding something that has not been expressed. Not a few said that his gaze looked like someone who was preparing something big, something that may not be ready to be announced to the world. Theories began to emerge. Some believe that Jungkook is preparing a new project that is completely different from before. There are also those who speculate that he is entering a new phase in his career journey, a phase that may surprise many people. But the most interesting thing is how one small signal can spark the imagination of millions of fans around the world. In various online communities, the discussion about Jungkook is getting hotter. Some fans began to connect pieces of events that happened in the last few months. From social media uploads that suddenly appear and then disappear, to style changes that are considered unusual. All of that is now like part of a big puzzle that has not been completed. For ARMY, Jungkook is not just an idol. He is the figure they witnessed grow from a shy teenager to a global star who captivates millions of hearts. Because of that, the emotional relationship between Jungkook and his fans feels very strong. When he was seen hiding something, the fans felt as if there was a big story waiting to be revealed. Interestingly, this phenomenon also shows how strong Jungkook's influence is in the global entertainment world. Not many artists are able to spark a big discussion from just one small cue. But Jungkook seems to have that power. Every movement can be a topic of conversation across countries, cultures, and even generations. Some observers of the entertainment industry even say that this is part of Jungkook's true charm. He is not only an amazing singer or performer, but also a figure who always leaves a space of mystery. A mystery that makes people keep paying attention to him, keep asking questions, and keep waiting for what he will do next. But in the midst of all the theories circulating, one thing remains clear. Jungkook is someone who is very careful in showing his life to the public. He is known as a person who does not easily open everything to the world. There is a part of him that he always takes care of very closely, as if it becomes a private space that can only be entered by the people closest to him. This is what makes every small signal from him feel so important. When Jungkook gave a little hint, no matter how small it was, the fans immediately tried to understand him. They try to read behind words, behind expressions, even behind silence. Some fans even believe that Jungkook is giving code to ARMY. Not a clear and direct code, but something that must be understood slowly. A message that may only be fully understood when the time comes. But of course, not everyone sees it the same way. There are also those who say that maybe all of this is just a coincidence. That Jungkook is just living his life as usual, while the fans go too far to interpret small things. But that's where the uniqueness of this phenomenon lies. In the fandom world, the line between fact and speculation often becomes very thin. And when a figure as big as Jungkook is involved, that speculation can turn into a huge wave of discussion. One thing is for sure, the world's attention is now back on Jungkook. Many people are waiting with curiosity, waiting to see if these theories will be proven correct, or will only be part of the long story between Jungkook and his fans. And maybe, Behind all this, Jungkook himself is smiling at how one small signal can make the world so crowded. Because if there is one thing that he has always succeeded in doing throughout his career, it is to make people keep looking forward to the next step. Now the question is still hanging in the air, becoming a topic of conversation that never subsides. What exactly is Jungkook hiding? Is this a sign of something big that will happen soon? Or just a coincidence that accidentally triggered the imagination of millions of people? For now, no one really knows the answer. But one thing is for sure, the world is waiting. And when Jungkook finally decides to open this mystery, most likely the whole world will be surprised again by the next move from the Golden Magne. But as time goes by, speculations circulating about Jungkook are actually spreading. What was originally just a small conversation among fans has now turned into a big wave of discussion that spreads to various platforms. Jungkook's name once again dominates global conversation, and interestingly, all of this happened without any official announcement. There is no press conference, no big teaser, no openly announced project. Just a signal that feels faint, but strong enough to provoke the curiosity of millions of people. Many fans from BTS ARMY began to retrace Jungkook's old moments that may not have been paid much attention to before. Old videos, old interviews, even pieces of live broadcasts that he did many years ago are now being talked about again. For some people, this may sound exaggerated. But for ARMY, understanding Jungkook often means reading stories hidden behind small things. Some fans even realize that Jungkook has been having a unique habit. He often gives small hints before something big happens in his career. Sometimes it's just a simple word, sometimes it's just an expression or choice of a song that he sings spontaneously. But somehow, those small clues often only feel their meaning after a big surprise really happens. This phenomenon makes many people start to believe that Jungkook might be doing the same thing again now. A seemingly simple signal, but is actually part of something bigger. A step that he may be preparing very carefully. On the other hand, entertainment industry observers also pay attention to this development. They see how Jungkook's name continues to be a magnet for the world's attention. Even when he didn't do a big promotion, the discussion about him was still alive. This shows something that is very rare in the global entertainment world: the power of influence that does not depend entirely on marketing strategy. As a member of BTS, Jungkook has indeed proven himself as one of the most influential artists in his generation. But what makes it different is the way it maintains a balance between openness and mystery. He is close enough to his fans to make them feel connected, but also closed enough to keep the world curious. Some theories have even begun to develop further. Some believe that Jungkook is preparing a very personal creative project, something that might show a side of himself that he has never really shown to the public. If this theory is correct, then the project can be one of the most important moments in his career journey. But there is also a theory that is much more emotional. Some fans feel that the signal given by Jungkook may be related to personal reflection. They saw a small change in the way Jungkook spoke and expressed himself. For fans who have been following his journey for a long time, changes like this feel very meaningful. Jungkook himself is known as a very hardworking figure. Since his teenage years, he has lived a stressful life as a global idol. Non-stop training, tight schedules, and very high public expectations have been part of his daily life for many years. But behind all that, Jungkook always tries to show his sincere side to his fans. That's why ARMY feels very connected to him. They not only see Jungkook as a big star, but also as someone who grew up with them. Many fans feel that they have witnessed his life journey up close, although in fact they only saw it through the screen. When a figure like Jungkook suddenly gave a different signal, the fans' reaction became very strong. Curiosity mixed with hope, sometimes even with a little worry. They want to know if Jungkook is preparing something extraordinary or is actually going through an important phase in his life.